Wiggle yourself into whatever position allows you to feel most supported. And because we're building our chakras and connecting them to each other, let's take a moment to really move a little, rock back and forth to feel your sitting bones. And remember that they are anchoring you to the ground. Let's close our eyes and feel exactly where you're sitting on your sitting bones and the distance between where you're sitting and the actual earth below you. And take a couple of breaths, just holding that tether between you and the earth. And then as you continue breathing easily, we'll imagine not only that grounding of the root chakra, where we're closest to earth, but then stacking on top of that as we lengthen our spine, we're imagining our sacral chakra, this whole big area in the low abdomen. Taking a breath, imagining that space. And then adding on this big beach ball middle, your solar plexus in between your ribs and including your diaphragm. So you're feeling those lower chakras and breathing. And let's add the heart to all of that. And the heart space it's your heart, it's your lungs, it's your chest. It's this whole kind of upper torso area. So not a small space, but a big area. Add that in as you breathe. Good, and then I invite you to really stay either just at the heart, if that's a place you can find or a sensation you can locate, or connecting a few chakras together if that's available to you. And we'll work with the idea of the heart chakra as we take the thumb into the hand. We're going to breathe our 3-3-9. So 3 counts to breathe in, 3 counts to hold full of air at the heart, and up to 9 counts as you breathe out, whatever's comfortable for you. Right? Breathing should always feel natural-ish. If it's causing any tension, then just go back to a different type of breathing. So let's breathe in and lift the arms up. Hold your breath focused at the heart. And then breathe all the air out. Hands together. 3-3-9 at the heart. Hands up and either behind or in front of your neck. 3-3-9, focused at the heart. Full extension, breathing in. Hold at the heart. And slowly, hands towards heart, breathing out. And a breath here at the heart. Lovely. You're welcome to change your position if at all that you feel more comfortable. We're going to lengthen the arms, either back of the wrists on the knees or hands to the side on the mat. And take an ear up towards the sky. The neck is very close to this area of the upper torso. So we're really going to take time to open up our necks today. Let's do the same breathing, that 3-3-9, focus in the heart. When you feel ready, over to the other side. And let's do both sides twice today. First side, using that 3-3-9 breath or whatever other breathing works better for you. And as we go to the second side, remember that we're focused at the heart, but we are letting things happen, just letting this pose. You're placing your body in a position and then you're just allowing whatever stretch to happen. Beautiful. Come back to center. And again, just take a moment. If you have a sense of the chakras lining up on top of each other, you just take a moment to reposition your spine, lengthen tall, get a sense of that groundedness, connecting to the heart. And then from there, from this heart center, the body stays as is, and just the head turns to the side, keeping the back of the neck long. And again, a 3-3-9 breath with focus at heart. Gently turn your head the other direction. The back of the neck long, still, and focused in the heart. Back to center. And now we'll tip the chin toward the chest. And just let the head hang there. Again, we're allowing, we're letting. I'm using the 3-3-9 breath, focused in heart. And gently walking your eyes across the floor, up the opposite wall, as far across the ceiling as your neck wants to take you. Release your jaw and allow a 3-3-9 breath here with an open mouth. Walk the eyes back. Until once again, the chin is on or close to your chest. Breathe again. Just float your head back up to center. Great. We're going to take one arm, holding up the elbow of one arm, using the other arm, pull across the body. Remembering that often this little pull causes the shoulder to lift towards the ear. So we want to bring both shoulders down. And here we're starting to constrict some of the area around the front of the chest so that we're opening up across the shoulder blades. Let's take a 3-3-9 breath here. The breath can help you to open. Release that arm, take up the other one. Again, give a little tug on the elbow, drop your shoulders down, and use the breath, a big breath, to expand across the shoulder blades. Good, let that go. Rest one arm across your lap. Bring the other arm up towards your ear. And let's breathe in as we reach for the sky. Hold full of air. Again, we're expanding the chest area now. And as you breathe out, you can go into a little further side bend. One more breath here. Expansive across your chest. And as you breathe out, start to bring it back to center. Good. Change arms. Arm across the lap. Arm you haven't used yet. Towards your ear. Breathe in and reach for sky. Hold focus at your heart. Breathe out. More side bend, wherever your body would like to go. Breathe in, holding here. Expand across your chest. And as you breathe out, start to come back. Let's bring one arm out in front of you, the other arm off to the side. If you're tired of sitting, these can all be done standing instead. So you make your choice, sitting or standing, totally good. Drop your shoulders down. Keep your hands at this right angle position. Look past your side fingers and take a little twist towards the back, just a small distance. And let's breathe really expansively into the chest, heart, lungs. Breathing out all your air. And when you're ready, to the other side. So just on the right angle, the other way. Other arm reaching forward, other arm reaching to the side. Drop your shoulders down. Look past your side fingers. Breathe in for 3 counts into the heart. Take a little twist and hold at the heart. And breathe out for up to 9. Good, come back to center, shake out those arms. And we are going to move to standing now. So let's take the socks off. So we've got some grip. Move out of your way. And a little note for later. We are going to use a block or a bolster or a stack of blankets, like any stack of towels, anything that you have that kind of works like a bolster. We're going to work to lay on it so that we can open up our chests a little closer to the end of the class. So you've got lots of time to figure out what you're going to use. All right, let's stand hip width apart. Take that moment to ground your feet, spread your toes, bend your knees, feel the connection of the feet to the earth. Connecting up those lower chakras with our heart. Standing tall. Let's roll the shoulders. Notice how they're doing today. And just breathe normally now, just regular breathing. Roll the shoulders the other way. And then bring the shoulders up to the ears and hold them. And release. Shake out the arms. We'll do one more of those. Pull the shoulders up to the ears. Breathe and hold. Release. Shake it all out. Check in with your neck again. Good. So we're going to start to get a little bit of check-in and mobility through the shoulders. We're going to do that in several different ways. Make sure you've got enough space that you can reach your arms out on either side of you. And we're going to be doing little arm circles. So you want enough room to be able to make circles without hitting into walls or anything else. Place your feet just a little bit wider than hip width and start with your arms out wide and feel the distance from one hand all the way across the chest to the other hand. I'm going to feel broad across the chest, low through the shoulders, and ease through the neck. And then we'll just start to make some little arm circles. Doesn't matter how you do it. I'm circling around to the back, but you could circle either direction. And what I want you to notice is the ability to stay nice and broad across your chest, and that the shoulders are doing the movement. It's not the hands, it's not the wrists, not the elbows. The arms are staying pretty straight. They're kind of one arm unit so that we can move at the shoulders. Okay, and make them just a little bigger. Any speed, the speed doesn't matter here. I can start to feel some soreness there. Like, oh, this gets tiring for the shoulders. And then see if you can make a really big, all the way up and all the way back, all the way up and around, and then pause and shake them out. Good. We're going to do something similar, but this time we're going to hold the shoulders. So with hands on the shoulders, now we're going to take the elbows up above and then circle them around to the back. elbows up towards the head, circle them around the back. One more. Remember, we're letting, we're allowing, we're not forcing today. So if any of this doesn't feel right, you know my guidance. You're gonna find a different way to do it. Do less intensity, because you're honoring your heart chakra by just allowing. Let's go the other direction. So whatever, I think before I was bringing my elbows up towards my head, now I'm bringing my elbows behind me first, and then to the head, and then down in front of the heart, circling the opposite way. Just play around with it. Trying to increase some mobility in our shoulders, knowing that there's lots of muscles that are connecting from shoulders to the chest, to the shoulder blades, to the area of the heart chakra. Good. Shake out those arms. Excellent. Great. Let's take it into an eagle pose here. And you can decide if you like doing eagle with balance, then we'll add the balance pose. If you feel like you just want to focus on the goodness that comes from eagle arms without the balance, then that's fine too. If you're doing the balance, you're going to make sure that you're standing in a way that you'll be able to stand on one foot. Let's take one arm across the body. Take the other arm and wrap it way underneath the tricep. And maybe the fingers of one hand touch the palm of the other, with both your thumbs pointed at your nose. If that doesn't feel available today, totally great to just have hands on opposite shoulders. It is the same stretch. Let's pull the elbows away from the chest and take just a big easy breath, just an in and an out. Good. So if you're doing the balance, I invite you to find an eye focus at eye level and cross one leg over the other. Sit low, tuck in your chin, and see if you can hold for 3 breaths, picking your toes up off the ground for some portion. Ease in your neck. Come on back to standing. Let go of those arms. Good. Let's do the other side. So the other arm goes first. Other arm wraps around. Both thumbs pointed at your nose or hands on shoulders. Pulling elbows away from your chest. Take a big breath. Allow the stretch to happen. Gentle through your neck. And totally good to just stay there without the balance addition. If you want it, we're now crossing the other leg over, sitting low, tucking your chin. Breathe for 3 breaths, testing your balance. And come on back up. And let that go. Shake, shake, shake. Grab a sip of water. Standing tall again. Get the mountain pose. We're going to keep our bodies nice and tall, nice and open, and just go with a neck roll from the standing position. So your feet are supportive, knees are slightly bent, Your spine is tall. And from here, lift one ear towards the sky. Hang out there just for an easy breath. And then think about the slowest neck roll that you can possibly do. Start to very slowly tip your chin towards your shoulder. I'm going to take it into a slow, slow neck roll. With an invitation to pause and breathe anytime you come across a sore knot. It's good to pay attention. Where are the tight areas for you and your body today? Just noticing them, bringing some oxygen to them. And I always give the option of either doing the full neck roll where you roll around the back as well, or not. Sometimes that doesn't feel good for all of our necks. So if you don't like rolling around the back, you're just going to pause when you get to the other side and change directions. Lots of breath to support you going slowly. And eventually, when you are ready, bring your head back to center and just gently look side to side, checking in with what you've discovered in your neck. Good. We'll do our forward release next to check in with the spine. But in particular, we're going to go so slowly through this upper area. I think sometimes we get a bit more focused on the middle back or the low back. Today, we're really focusing on the upper back area. So again, plant your feet, spread your toes, bend your knees, stand tall in mountain for this initial breath. And start to tip your chin towards your chest. So we've done lots of this move now. It's hopefully starting to feel a little better through the back of your neck. And let's go very slowly, one vertebra at a time. So just moving the tiniest notch down and breathing into that upper back area. And then moving the tiniest notch down and breathing again. So just go slowly, especially through that upper back, into the middle back area. And then keep going into whatever version of forward release works for you today, which could also be sitting on a chair. If you need the support, you can do a chair seated forward release that gets you all the same goodness. If you get to the point where you are hanging from your hips, then you have the option of holding each elbow, so you can dangle a little more, keeping the chin on or close to the chest, keeping the knees bent, keeping the weight equalized across your grounded feet. And then again, an option if you want is to straighten one leg, hold for a breath.
Bend those knees, and straighten the other leg. Contract your core, loosen your arms, and let your core help to lift you slowly back to standing or sitting if you're on a chair.
Good. Back up. And once you're tall again, we're gonna rub our fingers together to make our healing hands ready to find all of the spaces in your face, your temples, your jaw, any areas that need a little love, a little self-healing. What spots of the face or head need to be let go? Good. Let's make a gentle fist, flat side of the fist into the low back, elbows toward each other, and a little more actively today because we're trying to open up across the heart, the lungs, the chest, elbows towards each other. And then just the eyes and head, look at the ceiling, open your mouth and breathe. Walk the eyes back. Shake out the arms. Excellent. Good. We're going to do one more pose. It's kind of a cross between a forward release and an equalizer, if you can believe it. Interlace your fingers behind you. Pull your wrists apart from each other. Start to lift your straight arms, straight elbows, arms up and away from the body. And then we're going to take ourselves partway into forward release, if that's okay with your back. So the way that'll work is we're going to tuck the chin towards the chest, start to bend forward, but mostly keeping the back flat, and then pulling the arms up and away from the back. Breathing there. Feeling the openness that we're hoping to create across the shoulder blades, a little bit into the shoulders. And then come on back to standing. Good. Shake that out again and get another drink of water. Excellent. We're going to come into a chair pose today. So the chair pose is good for lots of things. In particular, strengthens all the muscles surrounding the knees. And while we're not working on the lower body so much today, what we want to do is be able to move ourselves into a position and maintain this sense of openness that we've created through the chest. So stand, feet grounded, knees bent, spine tall. Breathe in as you lift your arms up gently and openly across the chest, across the shoulders. And then sit into chair. Knees bend, outside of the knees in line with pinky toe. And then bring your hands together and hands to heart, maintaining a sense of spaciousness across the chest, across the shoulder blades. Just hold here, 2 breaths. Standing. Good. Let's take that out. All right, we're gonna bring that same idea, but with a little more action through the legs. So goddess pose takes our legs into a very, very wide stance. And it's okay on this one to have your feet more pointed out at 45 degrees. Your toes are almost pointing towards the corners, outer corners of the mat. Different than usual where we have the feet parallel to each other. So the goddess is going to do a couple things. With the lower body, goddess pose just takes a really wide squatting stance, right? So we're trying to lower our tailbones, get closer to the earth, widen through our knees and our inner thighs. All right, so just a little taster there. Stand back up. It's a lot. It's a lot of stretch. So we're going to do that with the lower body. Simultaneously, we're going to open nice and wide through our elbows. So elbow to elbow is a nice long line. Our fingers are going to be spread wide. Our shoulders are going to be low. So if you've got that position now in your hands, let's add bending the knees. Excellent. Feel that the pinky toes are still taking a little bit of the weight. The outer part of the feet is taking weight. We've lowered our seat, bent our knees. We've dropped our shoulders, ease in the neck. You're spreading your fingers. Your hands are active. And now, just to make it more, we're going to let out our air. We're going to take a big breath in, and we're going to get our tongue sticking out. Breath in. Stand back up. Bring your arms down, shake it out. We're going to do another one. Or a little break, a little rock back and forth or windmill or anything you need to. Great. So to bring expansiveness to our heart chakra region, let's lift those arms up again, elbow to elbow wide, fingers spread, shoulders low. Bend your knees into goddess legs. Let out your air. Big breath in. Expansive chest. Stick out your tongue. Stand up. Shake it out. And I actually love kind of the sense of the windmill. So bringing your feet back to hip width or just slightly wider than hip width, and just allow your body to let go. Swivel back and forth. Let your hands hit you on the sides. It's just an allowing, letting go, a releasing. Good. Well done. Another sip of water, of course, and then we're coming down to hands and knees and getting our knees all set up. So if you need a little cushion under your knees, now it's time to grab that. Hands and knees. Gentle cat-cow, rounding and arching. And I invite you to pay particular attention to your upper back. So first you're just noticing that area, noticing chest, noticing upper back. Starting to synchronize your movement so that you breathe in, moving one way, out, moving the other way. And then if it feels right to you, if your back feels like this is a good thing, you could be a little more exaggerated in your roundedness in the upper back area. And that area across the shoulder blades. A little more attention, maybe more rounding. . Good, and then come back to center. And this time, we're going to pay attention to the front of the chest. So with a flat back, I invite you to do a couple of things. One is pay attention to the distance between your shoulder blades and see how it is to let your chest come a little closer to the floor. So not the rest of your back, just your chest. And then the opposite move is to pull the chest up towards the spine, getting really wide across the shoulder blades. And then let the chest sag, create kind of a little hammock or a little dip between your shoulder blades. And then pull the chest up towards the spine, getting broad across the shoulder blades. And that's the move. Sag through the chest, pull up and get broad. A couple more times with breathing. Excellent. And then do anything that feels right here. I love pulling my hips halfway back to my heels and off to one side, but it's a freestyle, anything that you want to do from this position. Good. Come on to your forearms now, please. And you can interlace your fingers gently. It's not a tight fist at all, just a gentle interlacing. And a placing of the elbows underneath your shoulders. We're going to try a plank pose in this position from forearms. So stretch one leg out behind you, stretch the other leg out behind you, come into plank. And then of course you get a decision here. If this feels fine, then you can stay in this full plank. If it feels like it's a little much today, then bring your knees down and have the knees take a little bit of the weight. And hold and breathe. In a moment, we'll be taking this into a dolphin pose. So it's just like downward dog, but with your arms in this position, in this forearm and fingers interlaced. So let's do that now. Keep the arms as they are, but push your hips high, and we'll have to walk the feet a little closer to you, closer to your nose, to keep being able to push the hips high up and far back. And then just like downward dog, you have the option to press one heel at a time toward the floor. Asking something of our arms here. This is a bit of work. Pushing those elbows into the floor, pushing the hips far back. One more big breath. And then bring the knees down and settle into a pose of child for 5 releasing breaths. We're going to stay in pose of child, but I'm inviting you to take your arms up above your head. So the hands are stretched towards the top of the mat. Your legs have remained in your pose of child version. We're going to reach those fingers as far forward as they can. And
We're gonna reach, imagine that I've placed a boiled egg in between your palm and the floor. So we're gonna lift the palms off the ground, but keep our fingers anchored to the mat. Drop your head as low as feels comfortable and take 2 breaths here. And then we're walking those hands over to the left side, getting a bit of a side stretch for 2 breaths. When you're ready, walking those fingers back to center and then over to the right. Back to center and round yourself up to sitting. Great. And then come to hands and knees again. We're going to thread the needle today. So taking one hand and reaching it in between your other hand and knee. Reach, 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 reach. Bring your shoulder down to the mat and laying the side of your face onto your other back of your hand. Okay, so I'm laying the side of my face onto the back of the hand that didn't reach. I'm breathing here into that whole area. Anything you can do to expand the area around the heart chakra for 4 breaths. And before we move from here, we're now going to take the hand that's under your face. That hand is going to reach for the top of the mat. Again, with that fingers down, but palm up position. So imagine I place that boiled egg again between the mat and your palm. So you've got your palm up, but your fingers anchored. And we're getting a beautiful stretch into the armpit, or I am, maybe you are. Couple of breaths here. And then find your way back up to center, up to hands and knees. And let's do all of that on the other side. Other hand is reaching to thread the needle. Reach, 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 reach. You end up lying on your shoulder and the side of your face. And we're going to take the hand that didn't reach and place it under the side of the face. Little pillow. 4 breaths. Now keeping the position as is, except for the hand that your face is lying on. That hand is now going to reach towards the top of your mat with the spider fingers. The fingers down, but the palm up. 2 more breaths here. Good, and bring yourself back up to hands and knees. And one more thing we're going to try for our shoulders here. From hands and knees, take one hand and karate chop across to the opposite corner of your mat. So karate chop with the pinky side of the hand, karate chopping onto the mat. And then you're going to pull your hips halfway back to your heels.
And hopefully get a stretch in the outer part of your shoulder, connected to the armpit. Couple of breaths there. And back to hands and knees, and it's the other hand now, the karate chops across the opposite, so whatever hand you're using, you're crossing over to reach for the opposite corner of your mat, and then pulling back a little bit. Sitting your hips halfway to your heels, pulling that karate chop hand back a little, settling your armpit a little closer to the earth, finding what feels like a good stretch and breathing. Great. All right, we are going to test out how it feels to lay on top of a bolster. So if you've got a bolster, then you are all set. If you don't have a bolster, you can make your own by stacking towels on top of each other or blankets on top of each other. The trick of it is the bolster, I don't know if you could tell, but if I put it in front of me, it's not as wide as my shoulders, right? It's sort of as wide as my chest, but not into the shoulder area. So you want something similar. You want your stack of towels or your blanket to be only as wide as the front part of your body, front of your chest, not all the way as broad as your shoulders. Now, Melanie leads this whenever she teaches her classes, and I know some people love it, and I am one of the people that actually find it a little uncomfortable. So I can do it for a short while, but I can't be there for a long time. So we're just going to do a short while for my sake, and for you to be able to check out, yeah, I love this, or no, it's not quite mine. So then we're trying to position ourselves so that we can lay our backs, our upper backs, onto the bolster, almost waterfalling our shoulders off either side. So I've got my hips and my bum on the mat because my bolster sort of goes to the low back area, but doesn't sit underneath my bum. I've got my shoulders waterfalling off the sides of the bolster. And because of the length of the bolster, I've got my head rested on top of the bolster. If you're using something that's more like a shorter block, your head might be hanging off the top. And that's fine if it feels okay, but if that doesn't feel right for your neck, then you might need to add a pillow or a folded blanket or something to prop up your head. And then the idea is just to allow, to let this pose support you. Let's take several quiet breaths. So just rest here. Your legs can be stretched out or knees bent, whatever feels more supportive. And as you lay here, check in with your heart. How is your heart just now? How is your emotional self? And then I invite you to just roll to one side Find your way off your stack of blankets and your bolster. Good, and we'll do a shoulder rotation followed by Shavasana. So we're almost there. So once you're off your bolster, you want to move things out of your way so that you've got enough space for a big shoulder circle, big arm circle. So you might need to change the positioning of your mat, move some furniture. And then once you think you've got enough space for your arm to go around, then we're going to lay, getting our heads comfortable. So lay on your bent arm or your straight arm or your propped arm. With your body fully outstretched, we're taking the top knee and bending it and anchoring that knee to the floor. Taking the top hand at the top knee and dragging it along the floor in a big circle. When it gets above your head, that's when we're really paying attention. What's the biggest circle that your hand can continue to make, your arm can make without your knee coming off the ground? And then when you circle to your bum, you're going to pause and change directions. Start to go back. We're doing 4 slow circles around to the bum and back, around to the bum and back. Really breathing into the area that feels restricted. If this is causing you pain in any way, especially in the shoulder, then the alternate is to hold your hand at your shoulder and just use the elbow to make the circle happen. That'll change how much range of motion you have, and it'll protect any difficulties you're having in your shoulder. We have opened the shoulders a lot today, so maybe this is feeling a little more open. Once you've done your 4 times, let's turn over and do the other side. Again, make the head comfortable. Lay fully on, you're on your side, but fully outstretched. And it's the top knee that bends and anchors to the floor. The top hand that starts at the knee, drags along the floor in a big circle. Round to the bum and back. 4 times with lots of breath. Imagine all the space we've created in the area around the heart. Take your time. Once that's complete, we'll get ready for Shavasana. For those of you who really enjoyed laying on a bolster, you always have the option of doing your lying down Shavasana that way. So if you like it, add it. So just as you're getting settled in, before we do our loving kindness meditation, I'm going to read you one more thing from Anodea Judith's Wheels of Life. Just as you're working your way into a comfortable place. Self-acceptance is our first chance to practice unconditional love. It doesn't mean that we have to give up striving to be better, but that our self-love is not conditional on some future or imagined change. When this occurs within our heart, it then becomes easier to accept others, faults and all, with the unconditional love of the heart chakra. With acceptance and compassion for ourselves, it then becomes easier to make personal changes. We're going to do our loving kindness meditation, which does bring acceptance and compassion to ourselves and then to others. Allow yourself to be comfortable. Start to take easy, quiet breaths as you gently close your eyes. I invite you to imagine the horizon spanning through your chest with a radiant sun rising in your innermost center, your heart. As though being melted by the solar warmth, release tension in your shoulders, across your chest and across your throat. As though being melted by the solar warmth, soften your forehead, your jaw, your face, and rest your attention inward on the light deep within. Take smooth, even breaths. As you inhale, invite the glow from your heart to expand toward the inner surface of the body. With each exhale, let the light recede. Inhale, invite the glow from your heart to expand toward the inner surface of your body. Exhale, let the light recede. As you continue breathing, invite the light to touch the parts of you that interact with the world. Your eyes, your ears, the voice center in your throat, the palms of your hands, the soles of your feet. As you continue inhaling and exhaling, feel your light shine more clearly. And as you continue to breathe, bring yourself to mind with as much love and acceptance and compassion as you can find. May I be filled with loving kindness. May I be well. May I be peaceful and at ease. May I be happy. Next, imagine someone else in your life who you feel compelled to bring a little love, acceptance, and compassion to. Could be anyone. Could be someone you know well or someone you don't know well. An acquaintance, could be anyone. Bring that one person to mind, and then we'll do a group of people next. May you be filled with loving kindness. May you be well. May you be peaceful and at ease. May you be happy. Next, bring a group of people to mind. Maybe any group, it can be a group that knows each other or a group that does not. Just have an image of many, many in your mind. May you be filled with loving kindness. May you be well. May you be peaceful and at ease. May you be happy. And for one last round, we're going to use we. So include yourself in any group. Bring yourself and a group of people to mind. May we be filled with loving kindness. May we be well. May we be peaceful and at ease. May we be happy. Sleep quietly for one more minute. And now take 3 deeper breaths. Sign them out. Starting to move. Stretching any way that feels good. And rolling onto your side once again. And very slowly bring yourself to a sitting position if you'd like to close the class with me. And just honoring that that loving kindness meditation was written by Kate Vogt. We're going to keep it very simple as we close today. I invite you to bring your hands to your heart, together at your heart. And take your pointer fingers and touch them to your third eye, that space a little bit above your eyebrows, in the center of your head. And it creates just a little bit of a bow. We're bowing to ourselves, for showing up for ourselves, for bringing love and acceptance and compassion to ourselves as part of our practice today. Take a breath there. And then bring your hands to your heart, anchoring your thumbs towards your heart chakra. And as you sit tall, but connect your hands together, and your thumbs towards your heart, and the sense of that we are not separate. While we are each practicing in our own spaces, we are in community together. We're here in community now as part of this yoga practice, and you, I know, are in community with many others. So one breath, love and kindness and compassion for our communities. Namaste.